California is being destroyed by career politicians who've never worked a real job, and they destroyed my family's business.
For 90 years, we fed California. We worked hard to build something great, and we watched it get destroyed by overregulation, taxation, and corruption. I learned business from the ground up. I know what it's like to fight through red tape just to survive, and I know how to fix it. I'm not a politician. I'm a businessman, a farmer, and an unapologetic fighter for California.
But I can't do it alone. To make this campaign successful, I need people like you to step up.
Fight, fight, fight!
We can turn California red again.
With action, with a movement.
We are just getting started.
If you're ready to take a stand, sign up to volunteer, get involved, and let's take back our state together.
I'm Leo Zacky, and I'm running for governor of California.
My name is Leo Zacky, and I was born and raised in California. This is home. I'm a Californian. People are leaving California because they can't afford to live here. High prices in gas, food. There's no job opportunities because all the businesses are leaving. Nobody can create their business. It used to be easy for people to come and start a business here. But now with all the overregulation and the high business taxes, it's nearly impossible. Overregulation is what's holding this state back. People want results. We don't have time to wait around anymore. We need decisive action, and we need it now. California is $3.2 trillion in debt. We have the 5th highest debt in the nation. The current politicians in power don't know anything about business. That's why you're seeing people flee the state, businesses flee the state, and nobody has the opportunity to create for themselves here. If things keep going the way they are, nobody will be able to afford to live here. I'm running for governor because I'm seeing California just go downhill. When I'm governor, I'm going to lower the business taxes because people need to have an opportunity to create for themselves here. With less red tape and lower taxes, businesses will flock to California. When they come back here, they bring jobs. And when people have the opportunity to create business here, they create more jobs. My great-grandfather started Zacky Farms here in Los Angeles, and it became the largest poultry company on the West Coast. We also became the largest privately owned employer in the state of California. Zacky Farms was my life. I started at the bottom, and I worked my way all the way up to becoming vice president. In the poultry industry, I'm a well-respected industry leader. People know and recognize me by my loyalty, my honesty, and integrity. I always follow through, and I never leave things short. I'm going to bring change to California, real change. I'm Leo Zacky, and I'm running for governor in California. My name is Leo Zacky, and I was born and raised in California. I love California. There's no place like it anywhere else in the world. California is the world leader in producing strawberries, avocados, artichokes, and almonds. California does have the biggest wine industry in the United States. California is still the leading dairy producer in the United States and beef producer. We're farmers. Agriculture is everything to us. Agriculture is the sole reason California is the world's 5th largest economy. And if we aren't able to provide water for our farmers, our economy is going to tank. My solution for the drought is to upgrade existing infrastructure, build out reservoirs to capture and harness the snowpack, and to go full force into desalination. We have a lot of water here in California, but it comes in the form of snowpack, and we're just simply not harnessing it. We have to build reservoirs at the high altitudes to capture the snowpack, and then we can disperse it out to our Central Valley and to our farmers. With decisive leadership, focused goals, and common sense solutions, we can build out new reservoirs, upgrade existing infrastructure, and set desalination on the fast track to construction. The only way we're going to get through this is by putting all 3 of those together. And my long-term plan is to make California a water exporter. I'm Leo Zacky, and I'm running for governor in California. My name is Leo Zacky, and I was born and raised in California. California ranks dead last with high school graduation. What's happening in our schools? California has the lowest graduation rate for high school students in the nation. We're 49th overall in education, and we're one of the highest funded education systems in the nation. We have to reform our education system and stop teaching divisive ideals like critical race theory. We have to give our kids the tools they need to be successful in today's world. And California is not offering kids the ability to actually have practical things when they leave high school. We have to give our kids a fighting chance. We need to bring shop class back so kids can learn how to work and build things with their hands. We need home ec so people know how to cook and take care of the home. We need civics so we can prevent any future issues in government by giving people the understanding of how our government actually is supposed to work. And we need to focus on teaching real American history, not this revisionist history, but how America was founded by settlers and conquerors. We need to take pride and teach that to our kids, and we'll instill that by having them recite the Pledge of Allegiance at the start of every day in their homeroom. I'm going to fix our broken education system. Our education will go from second to last to first. I'm Leo Zacky, and I'm running for governor in California. My name is Leo Zacky, and I was born and raised in California. Californians are the most unique group of people on the planet. Californians are innovators, they're creators, they're hard workers. As an agricultural family, I have a deep connection to our environment, and we need to do a better job of managing that environment because in our practice, you take care of the land, it takes care of you. With desalination on the horizon and high costs of electricity as is, we need better, more consistent, and cheaper ways of providing power to our citizens by using innovations like tidal energy, solar, and nuclear, affordable sources of electricity without blackouts. California needs less expensive ways to power our upcoming desalination industry. California used to be one of the nation's largest oil producers. We need to open up our oil fields. We need to have fossil fuels right now. We're going to use fossil fuels to get to the next level, but we're not there yet. We still have to work towards it. Your utility bill is about to get hit very hard if we don't make a change right away. I'm Leo Zacky, and I'm running for governor of California.
I'm Leo Zacky, and I'm running for governor of California.
My name is Leo Zacky, and I was born and raised in California. This is home. I'm a Californian. People are leaving California because they can't afford to live here. High prices in gas, food. Let's talk about homelessness. It's not simply people living on the street because they don't want to work. We have a mental health crisis that's compounded by drug addiction and a poor education system. We have to help these people, and we're going to do that by providing facilities for them outside of the cities where they can get help learning how to take care and treat their mental illness and overcome their drug addiction. And while they're there, they can learn a job skill, whether it's in agriculture, construction, sanitation, or firefighting. They'll get on-the-job experience and they'll earn a living wage doing it. They'll be able to re-enter society with money in their pocket and assistance from the government, because any company hiring people coming out of this program will get a tax break, and those folks will also be eligible for assisted government housing. I want to give these people an opportunity to come out of poverty and be reintegrated into society. I'm Leo Zacky, and I'm running for governor in California. My name is Leo Zacky, and I was born and raised in Los Angeles, California. Corruption is the single greatest issue holding California back. Our police have been handcuffed and aren't able to uphold the law. When you have people that have a license to steal, it's no wonder crime's through the roof. Our police need every tool at their disposal to enforce the law. I hate what politicians are doing to this state. I hate liars, I hate cheaters, I hate thieves. And we have all of those in office right now. Rules for thee and not for me. How many politicians do we see come into power with not a lot of money, but wind up becoming multi-millionaires in their short stay? I'm going after crooked politicians. We're going to expose all the nefarious dealings they're doing behind the scenes. There's no way they can become multi-millionaires in this line of work, unless they were taking money under the table. By electing motivated, common sense, and experienced individuals like myself to clean up Sacramento, we can set California on the path to success. I'm going to go after and expose politicians who don't help their constituents. We're going to expose the way they vote, we're going to expose the way they bring in money, and we're going to stop them from doing insider trading. I'm Leo Zacky, and I'm running for governor of California. My name is Leo Zacky, and I was born and raised in Los Angeles, California. I love California. There's no place like it anywhere else in the world. In California, we have wildfire season, and too often, These fires are getting so out of control that thousands are losing their homes. Wildfires are endemic in California. The only way we're going to stop them with proper land management. We have to get rid of regulation not allowing us to clear underbrush. That's something that Native Americans discovered thousands of years ago. We have to be able to work with our environment. We have such poor land management because of our ridiculous environmental restrictions that lead to these wildfires. The lack of reservoirs in California are contributing to this because we don't have enough ease of access for firefighters to put out these blazes when they do occur. We also have to lower the restrictions on the entry into the fire department. More firefighters, more tools, less underbrush. That's the key to success in stopping wildfires. I'm Leo Zacky, and I'm running for governor in California. My name is Leo Zacky, and I was born and raised in California. California's been home for me for my entire life. My family's been in California for over 100 years. In 1928, my great-grandfather started Zacky Farms here in Los Angeles, and it became the largest poultry company on the West Coast. We also became the largest privately owned employer in the state of California, and we were known for having the best chicken and turkey in the nation. Zacky Farms was my life. I started at the bottom. I started at the ground floor. I started going to supermarkets and stocking shelves, and I worked my way all the way up to becoming vice president. I worked shoulder to shoulder with everybody in the company. I worked on the ranches, the hatchery, did sanitation, and you name it. I did every job, and it was the best way to learn about the business, and I earned the respect of everybody around me. I know what hard work is. I put in the time. I've done it. So after 90 years, Zacky Farms went out of business because of politics. In California, from growing up to California today, two different places. California was the land of promise and prosperity. What happened to California? I hate seeing career politicians tell me how they're going to do a great job for us when they've been in power for decades and things keep getting worse. After nearly a century, Zacky Farms had to close down because of politicians making poor legislative decisions. They don't care about you. They don't care about your family. They don't care about your business. They don't care about this state. In the course of my lifetime, I've seen things go downhill. I'm running for governor because California is my home. And the way things are being run now, nobody has a chance. When elected, I'm going to turn this place around. Political corruption is what's holding California back. The politicians have created these problems. That's why so many people are leaving California. People are running away from here because politicians don't know anything about business. I'm Leo Zacky, and I'm running for governor in California.
Suddenly, post-November the 5th, America is optimistic. It's upbeat. It's the beginning of the golden age in America.
Yo, brother, hey, I'm just backstage here at CPAC. I'm about to go on stage and speak. We're doing it. CPAC.
And walking. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Leo Zacky.
Hello, CPAC! My name is Leo Zacky, and I'm the host of the international radio show America Matters on the Salem Network and the Answer Network. 120 years ago, my family legally immigrated to California, where my great-grandfather started what became Zacky Farms. Zacky Farms was a vertically integrated business and the largest poultry company on the West Coast, largest organic turkey producer in the nation, and the largest privately owned employer in California. After 90 years, we were forced to close our doors and put thousands of people out of work because of elected officials in California who hate private business. This is not incompetence. This is a deliberate strategy to destroy small businesses and the middle class. Trump winning does not mean the war is won. It means we are just getting started. And Americans are gearing up. The battle isn't just against a toxic ideology. It's against criminals who have infiltrated our system and are trying to destroy it from within. We are going to break the totalitarian supermajority in California with the help of God, the prayers of the righteous, and a lot of hard work. Again, my name is Leo Zacky, and please tune into my radio show Monday through Friday
visit my website to see how you can get involved locally with other patriots, go to turnred.org, and I want to thank all of you so much. America, California's in the fight. Thank you, CPAC.
I mean, that's the only way we're going to do it.
Fight! Fight! Fight!
We want Elon and his nerd army of muskrats examining the British deep state.
Welcome back to the nation's capital, where our movement is thriving, fighting, winning, and dominating Washington like never before. Nobody's ever seen anything like this before. The fraudsters, liars, cheaters, globalists, and deep state bureaucrats are being sent packing. The illegal alien criminals are being sent home. We're draining the swamp and we're restoring government by the people, for the people. For years, Washington was controlled by a sinister group of radical left Marxists, warmongers, and corrupt special interests who drained our wealth, attacked our liberties, obliterated our borders, and sucked our country dry. Not any longer.
I'm completely over the moon. It's been so much fun, and the worst part is it's over. But it's been a hell of a great time. Best 3 days at CPAC I've had. This is, I think, my 5th one now. Here I am speaking on the main stage, same stage as Elon Musk, Donald Trump, Eduardo Bolsonaro, Liz Truss, Dr. Robert Malone, Mike Rowe, so many amazing people, and I was a part of that. And just the connections I made here, the friendships I made here, they're gonna last a lifetime. A bunch of people here that want to get involved in my campaign, get behind me in my efforts to save California, and people in CPAC know that California is in the fight. They are ready to help turn California red, Republican red, and we're gonna take this country back, and we're gonna get rid of the globalists.
The reality is this isn't about left or right, Republican or Democrat anymore. This is about everything in the state is broken and not working, and it's impacting everybody in California, regardless of your party affiliation. And if we're going to fix this, we need to have outside thought and being proactive and have solutions that are going to make the difference in the state. And that's what I'm trying to bring to California. My family had the largest poultry company on the West Coast, and we were the largest privately employer in the state, but now we're out of business after 90 years because of the poor policy that's been in place in California.
This is COVID that shut you guys down.
No, we shut down prior to COVID. So this is the whole scamdemic that wasn't what killed us. It's literally the poor policy in California and how we lost our competitive edge because we're playing in a national market, but we're also selling and competing in a global market. And so when our costs go up because of arbitrary rules and regulation, minimum wage, utility price hikes, those negatively impact our ability to have a price that can put us in a standpoint where we're competitive. And when you lose that, because it's cheaper to produce it on the other side of the country and then freight it all the way to California and sell it to someone down the street, I've lost my competitive edge. I'm no longer a viable business. And this happens to so many people. It's just me, we were in big business. So, and I got to deal with that firsthand because I was with the board of the California Poultry Federation. So we'd go to Sacramento, we'd go to DC, and we would talk to the leaders, the EPA, the USDA, the FDA, senators, congressmen, state reps, state senators, and explain to them why it's wrong, why it's not working, but these people don't care. And a lot of them really don't know. And growing up, as just a regular American kid, like you see the people on TV that are leaders and you're just like, oh, they must be the best and brightest. And then you're 16 years old and you're in their office and you're hearing what they have to say and you're like, dude, this guy doesn't know the first thing about like basic farming. And it's like, oh my God, no wonder they're doing all this stuff backwards because they genuinely don't know. And then they just want to be wined and dined and told how special they are and make sure you give them a campaign contribution. And that's really how this stuff works. Like this isn't like hyperbole, like witness it firsthand.
Do you think the fires shifted the politics at all in the state?
Oh, for sure. I mean, I was impacted by it. I live down there. Friends of mine lost their homes. a lot of people that live in those affluent neighborhoods, and even in Altadena, you know, they're Democrat voters, you know, more than Republican. But when you lose everything and you're without a home and you've lost your insurance prior to that taking place, you start to think about, how the hell did this happen? How did I wind up in this position? How did I become so vulnerable? And the only way to work back to the reasons, it comes from the policy that's in place by the current leadership, which we have a Democrat supermajority. We're one of a handful of states that has a insurance commissioner, and when they're fighting against big, you know, insurance companies, right? The big megacorps and businesses. Don't get me wrong, I'm not a megacorp fan, but I understand that when you have a state that is not managing the forests, that's not collecting water, that doesn't have infrastructure that's working, that's underfunding their fire department, and you constantly have these massive wildfires taking place year after year, the insurance companies are footing the bill on who they're insuring, and it gets to the point where it's becoming so common that the only way for them to offset their losses and their expenses is to raise the rates. But if you're capping the rates, then they can't actually insure people without going bankrupt. And if they go bankrupt, then everybody's screwed. So they have to, and when the state says you can't do it, they have no choice but to drop the coverage on people in the high-risk areas. I mean, it's really that simple. Right, but I mean, they're either going to go out of business and everybody who's under their coverage is going to lose it. And then they're private enterprise, they're not in business, they're not insurance companies as a charity where they go broke, like they're there to make some profit. They're not gouging people, but you know, when you have a fire that's going to cost at least $250 billion in insurance damages, like they don't have that.
One of the best parts about being here at CPAC is we get to hear from many of the lawmakers that we're very familiar with already, but there are always a few up-and-comers as well, and I'm so excited to introduce you to Leo Zacky. He is a contender for the California gubernatorial race. He has an agricultural background. You may have heard of Zacky Farms. That's his family. And Gavin Newsom can't run again. And so the race is on for 2026. Tell me a little bit about yourself and your background.
Yeah, well, like you mentioned, Zacky Farms, that was my family's business. It started in 1928, and when I was 18 years old, I became a board member of the California Poultry Federation. So I would go with them when they'd go to D.C. and Sacramento and meet all the awful politicians that we have, and that's what really got me inspired to want to do something like this. And I started at the ground level with my family's business when I left college, and I've been around it my whole life, but I officially got the W-2 when I left college and worked my way up to becoming the vice president, and I did that up until we were forced out of business in January of 2019.
You know, it's really hard to make it in the agricultural industry this day and age.
Oh, my God.
And you know exactly what farmers are up against. California, the #1 ag-producing state. I remember growing up there, it was Harris Ranch and Zacky Farms. Those were the two big names. Go. So why, first of all, do you want to see, I mean, it's a no-brainer. Why do you want to see change in California, and what kind of change do you think you could bring to the table?
Well, California's my home. It gave my family everything. My family immigrated there 120 years ago, and I know what California is and can be. It has everything going for it except competent leadership and common sense. That's the missing equation. And if we can just have some of that, California will be thriving. We were the 5th largest economy. We've fallen to the 6th. We're likely to fall to the 7th. And we're the breadbasket for the world in so many aspects. We produce more avocados, almonds, and artichokes and strawberries than anywhere else in the world. And we're the leading dairy producer and beef producer and winemaker. And we have more peaches than Georgia and more oranges than Florida in the whole country. And that's just a couple things. There's like over 30 items that we produce like that.
And you know, so many people don't realize that California is the @1 ag-producing state. You don't realize until you leave California how good you have it when it comes to fresh produce and fresh poultry. I mean, and you look at what's happening right now to our poultry farmers with the bird flu.
Yeah, and they're just coming up with all sorts of ways to decimate our food production here in America right now. Instead of allowing us to actually treat the birds, they just go in and wipe out whole flocks. You know, tens of thousands and millions of birds just eradicated because of this disease instead of even giving it a chance to find a way to treat it and fight it. And if you just cook the damn thing, properly, you won't get avian influenza from eating one that was infected with it.
I know. I just think it's the fear. And then you're exactly right. That's what's spreading.
But that's what they've been doing all across the board. They spread fear, and that's how they have control over we the people. And I'm here to break that cycle.
Gavin Newsom has done some serious damage. How would you reverse the damage that he has done to the Golden State?
Well, there's a lot of work that needs to be done, but it's about focusing on the key foundational issues. And yes, my background is in ag, but truly the number one issue in California is water. It's the foundational building block of life here on Earth. And without abundant, affordable water, we can't have affordable food, we can't have clean spaces, and it will also help lower the cost of living. I mean, there's so many things with that. And folks are obviously impacted by the homeless crisis. They really don't like that as well. We need to provide help for the people that are on the streets, give them drug treatment, give them mental health treatment, because it's a mental health crisis compounded by a drug addiction. Right now, all they're doing is stuffing them in hotels at extremely high prices.
Well, he thought housing first. Gavin Newsom thought that housing first was a good idea.
No.
No, the treatment, it's about treatment. You're exactly right.
And that's what we have to do, and give them an opportunity to have a job skill on top of that. Allow them to earn a living wage while undergoing treatment to help offset the costs. We can, if you give 100,000 people a shovel, they can dig a pretty big hole pretty quickly. And if you have them pour concrete in that hole, guess what? You got a reservoir. I mean, it's really simple. Everything's complementary in my solutions here. And that's part of my business background. You got to find ways to make it work, but also create additional revenue streams. And with the water, if we have a robust water infrastructure where you have a drought-resistant California, we can then sell portions of our allocated Colorado River allowance to our neighbors like Arizona and Nevada and even Mexico for profit to help cover our debt.
You want to put a price tag on the Colorado River? I mean, you have first rights to it in California.
We have the lion's share of it, and so if we're going to hold on to that lion's share, well, why not sell off some of it once we're in a position where we can? Do it on a monthly or quarterly or biannually or annual basis. Who cares?
You think like President Trump.
Well,
you're a businessman.
Amazing how that works.
No, it's exactly what California needs right now. I think you brought up a big point about the reservoir. Well, you can't do it with the permitting process the way that it is right now. President Trump is using deregulation to help a lot of that happen, but you need a governor who will enact his agenda.
Exactly. And we're fighting Donald Trump right now in California. Well, not we. Newsom in the corrupt supermajority Marxist legislature that call themselves Democrats. And there's a lot of good Democrats in California. Problem is those globalist Marxists have corrupted and hijacked it. But putting in incentives for business, lowering taxes for business, getting rid of arbitrary red tape is only going to inspire people to create in California. And that's going to help stimulate the economy more than anything.
More than the Delta smelt population.
Oh, God. And that's the thing. The only reason they're in the wild right now is because UC Davis is growing them in captivity and then releasing them into the wild, which I'm fine with that. What a concept. Let's keep them in captivity. And then when we have our water infrastructure in place and we're in the position where we can have an environment that's sustainable for them, then reintroduce them to the wild. It's not like we've never done this with animals before.
No, it's the migration patterns where they lay their eggs. There's so many facets to it, but it's an anti-humanistic way of thinking in California, and it's costing the taxpayers so much money. And then, of course, with wildfires and the public lands and not being cleared out, that's another big one.
Right, and again, they scream environmentalism the whole time they do this, right? But we don't have our forests properly managed, and then we have uncontrollable wildfires. You couple that with the absence of water, so they burn even more out of control, and then the insurance companies have to cover all these costs. Then you have an insurance commissioner, which we're a handful of states that has one, that caps the rates, that forces these private enterprises into a position where they say, all right, we need to increase our rates, you have to let us do that, or we're going to drop the coverage. And California says, no, we're against megacorps. They say, all right, we're going to drop the coverage. And then the wildfires occur, and then people are negatively impacted, and they lose everything. So it's this negative cycle of poor policy that is really what's hurting the people of California. And it's really not that complicated to fix the mess. It just takes people at the top that are motivated to do the right thing, that care about the people, and not about their own egos or their own pocketbooks. And it's amazing how wealthy a lot of these elected officials are getting on their government salaries.
Well, I'm so glad that you came here as a speaker at CPAC. I'm so glad I had a chance to meet you. I know as a farmer Anybody who has worked on a farm knows it's hard work. And so you understand what hard work can do.
I've had to do it. And look, the Democrats, they scream, oh, no Americans will do these jobs. That's not true. There's plenty of Americans that are ready to do these jobs. It's an honest day's work, and when you do something with your hands and you get done at the end of the day and you look back at what you did and you're like, damn, I did that. You have this real sense of accomplishment, and it feels good, and it makes people have a higher self-esteem, and it's just this positive promotion all the way through. You just carry that positive energy onto the next thing that you do in your life.
Well, I can't wait to hear more from you. This is Leo Zacky once again. He is throwing his hat into the ring for the next governor of California, a state that desperately needs change. President Trump said there cannot be a golden age without the Golden State, and he's exactly right. So good luck to you.
I really appreciate that.
Really appreciate that. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll have more coverage for you coming from CPAC later on.
We're in a perpetual state of artificial drought because we're dumping water, we're not collecting it, we haven't built any new water infrastructure. So when you have a population that doubles since you built any major water infrastructure, and you have environmental policies that block you from being able to actually turn on and continue to build the desalination plants, you're going to have a lot less water that's available. So we're not, again, so it's the policies that are putting that forward. And most people don't know how important water is in California. We're the world's, well, we were the world's fifth largest economy. I think we're the sixth now. It could be falling to the seventh. But we're an agricultural economic powerhouse. 40% of just the regular table food that Americans consume comes from California. We're the leading producer in almonds, avocados, artichokes, and strawberries in the world. We produce the most dairy and beef cattle in the country. We have the biggest wine industry in the country, more peaches than Georgia, more oranges than Florida. I mean, we lead in like over 25 categories of food. 2/3 of the nation's winter vegetables like carrots and lettuce are from the Imperial Valley in California alone. So we are feeding the world, not just the nation. And if we don't have enough water, then you can't raise enough crops. And we have water restrictions on our farmers right now. So they're limited to 1.65 cubic feet per acre, which isn't sufficient for things like citrus, which take 2.25 cubic feet per acre, and then almonds require 4.5 cubic feet per acre. And when you don't have shortages like that, the farmers are put in a position where they have to then cut back what they're growing. So then you limit the amount of crops that are being put out. So then you shrink the supply there. But also with the increase in the cost of water, which is obviously, it's ag is very water intensive, that also gets added to the cost as well. So you have lower supply, higher costs, and the demand is constantly growing. And so food becomes more expensive. We're not collecting enough water. We haven't built any water infrastructure, so we need to build. Well, we have to build reservoirs throughout the state because it does rain. It's going to rain. Collect the rain, build it at the high altitudes, capture the snowpack. We're not doing a sufficient job of that. We have been approved for 50 desal plants. Some of them have been built. A lot of them have been blocked. Finish building them, activate them, and we also need to dam up our existing rivers, our concreted up rivers, like in the major metropolitan areas. Like in LA, we got 3 major rivers. We got the Rio Hondo, the Santa Ana, and the LA River. They all spill out to the sea, but when it rains, they fill up, and they're quite long and they're rather wide and deep. So if you dam them up with a spillway when it rains and then have purification plants along there, you can pump that back into the municipal system, and that'll also help take the pressure off the inland reserves. So if we have an abundance of water, which we can create, because it's really, you dig a hole and you line it with some plumbing and some concrete, wow, you got a reservoir. And that ties into my homeless solution too, by helping get folks off the street and into a program where they can learn a job skill. I mean, you give 100,000 people a shovel, you can dig a pretty big hole pretty quick. Pouring concrete is not a technical skill. Sure, we can bring in a proper, company that can do the plumbing, but, the hard part's digging the hole and then pouring the concrete. So all these things combined, you can have a surplus of water in a way that we're drought resistant, and then we can even sell portions of our allocated Colorado River allocation to the rest of the people that we share it with, like Utah or Arizona or Nevada, even the country of Mexico. We can sell them water because we can just say, look, we'll auction off, because we get a lion's share. So it's like, every month we can do it monthly or quarterly or biannually or annually, and just do that way to bring in revenue into the state that's not from taxpayers. And now we can use that to pay off our over $3.2 trillion debt that we have. And then eventually we'll get to the point where we're no longer in debt. It's helping to pad a surplus. You can we're going to bring down taxes anyways because you want to stimulate business and give people the ability to have money so they can create for themselves and have that extra spending money that helps circulate in the economy. So eventually it's going to help bring it down to the point where we'll have some of the lowest taxes in the nation. And if you couple that with actually using our oil reserves that we have in California, which we're not using in any real significant manner, and we then refine it in California, we'll have some of the cheapest gas in the country. We can export it to the world. And just by doing that alone, it'll bring in $80 billion a year of annual revenue.
So who we got here is Leo Zacky. So Leo Zacky has an amazing story, and he is the man that we want to be governor of California. Because of these horrible California laws, bad policies, anti-business policies, which, by the way, I grew up in California in 2020, I moved out of California. Goodness, they're so anti-business in this town, right? And that really turned me off, seeing how anti-business and really socialist California was becoming. And in the process of that, this gentleman who had his family business, Zacky Farms, that we all grew up knowing, and I'm telling you, I can't remember any other brand but Zacky Farms growing up, they lost their business because of these BS policies. This is a man whose family has experienced the brunt of these nonsense policies. And he's a businessman, he's the kind of person we need that understands how to build businesses, and he knows the policies that are destroying businesses. This is a man that employs people, gives people jobs, and his business is no more because of these nonsense policies. Sorry, I just went on a monologue, but Leo Zacky, introduce yourself, sir, you know.
Thanks, Vem. That was a hell of an endorsement there.
We need people that understand business. I believe the founders, their intention was to have business people and people that have entrepreneurship experience, not these career politicians. Like, you look at Bianco, by the way, look at his family list of names. Many members of his family, I shouldn't say every member, but many members of his family are government employees making a lot of money, six-figure salaries, and these are basically government, people that use politics as part of their, sucking off the blood off of our government, right?
And it's our money.
And they don't understand the basic principles of business. This is why we're seeing Donald Trump, within a month, he's done more than presidents do within their whole term, because they understand business. They're not politicians. That's Leo Zacky. That's the kind of person we need that understands business, how to build business, and more than ever understands how we can get rid of these nonsensical policies that persecute people that give jobs to Californians.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And, it just shows you that it's competent leadership that wants to do the right thing for the people is the big difference maker. If you go in there with the intentions to actually do good on behalf of the people, it's really not that complicated to get things done. They like to spin this web, or at least the corrupt politicians do. It's this big complicated mess, there's all these moving parts, it can never get done. That's a bunch of crap. It's the stroke of a pen, and somebody who's determined to do the right thing can get it done, and it just starts at the top.
You have this Chad Bianco who's spent outrageous amounts of money. You look at the history of what he's done, and his budget has gone up while crime's also gone up, right? And for dollars spent versus work done, there's no relation there. He's overspending like crazy, and those are the kind of people that we see what overspending looks like, because people that don't know how to run businesses are a little bit more liberal about spending our hard-earned tax dollars.
It's easy.
Right?
It's easy to spend money that's not yours.
That's not yours, especially when you haven't felt the pain of spending money. And every entrepreneur knows the pain of spending money, especially the wrong kind of money that doesn't lead to the results you want to lead to. And business people, entrepreneurs like Leo, understand this, and this is the kind of person we need.
But Ven, the good news is people are ready for change in California, and that's what I've been seeing. And that's what I talked about here at CPAC. That was part of my speech, is that California is ready to turn red, Republican red, not communist red. And between the horrible mismanagement of the state's funds, the emphasis on putting illegals before Californians, the destructive business policies, the high cost of living, these are all factored in. But now, with the fires that have impacted LA, people are really fed up. They're calling for the recall of Gavin Newsom, they're calling for the recall of Karen Bass, and they know that these are failures that are coming from the top.
Then when the fires come and then they don't allow people to clean up in a timely manner, and then the rains come, it causes more devastation because all that toxic building material from the homes that were built in the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, all that asbestos and all plastics and whatnot, it all gets washed out to the sea. All the sea life is going to die in the area. You're going to have the seabirds that are going to die. Who knows how long in that recovery process, let alone the cleanup now in the sea is going to take. And I can guarantee you, people will not be going to the beaches in SoCal this summer. And I'm here to show people that it's not, oh, this is wrong and this is bad, we got to change it, we got to fix it. Let me show you how we're going to achieve these successes and bring the state back into the black and get it out of debt and make things affordable again.
Let's talk about that crossover Democrat vote. How are you going to get the Democrats? How are you going to convince these Democrats, a lot of them that have been brainwashed by the mainstream media, to vote for you?
Well, again, it's about the key foundational issues. The Californians, I understand, look, they're sensitive, they're emotional, they're empathetic, they care about social issues, and I understand that. A lot of the social issues that people talk about, abortion, gay marriage, stuff like that, it's already been decided, it's already established in the California Constitution. I'm not here to take away people's rights or anything like that. What it is what it is. I'm simply here to focus on the issues that impact all Californians. And by focusing on that, and that's all I want to do, it's going to show success really quickly. People are going to feel it. They're going to feel it on their wallets. They're going to see it on the streets, and they're going to be able to have a higher quality of life, what they deserve, especially for all the high taxes they pay in California. But we're going to cut those too because we're going to make things more affordable. If we're not going to use our excise tax to take care of our roads, then we're going to do away with it. But what I'm going to do is make sure that that money goes to fixing the roads and improving them, and not just doing a bare minimum once over. No, we're going to make proper roads that are built to last, that are safe, so we can have better transportation and raise the speed limits for our truckers, because if the truckers can drive 5 or 10 miles an hour faster on the roads, they can cover more distance on the 10 hours that they're allowed to drive daily. You add 5 miles an hour to a 10-hour shift, that's 50 miles. You add 10 miles an hour, that's 100 miles. So you can really improve, and that's big cost savings too for companies, which then helps lower the cost of products, which brings the cost of living and paying for food down. That comes with the water as well. I mean, all the solutions I have, they're complementary.
What you're talking about is a lot of smart business, a lot of infrastructure work that is going to actually improve the lives of everyone in California, not Republican and Democrat, not split within this, red versus blue thing, but really helping all Californians to make California better, whatever their social issues and concerns are, whatever they have empathy towards.
Them, it's we the people versus them the criminals, them the crooks, the people that have been putting us into debt, that have been making our lives terrible, that have been making our streets unsafe, that have been making our schools worthless, that have been releasing criminals out of our prisons. It's us versus them. It's not left and right. It's not Democrat, Republican. It's Californians versus the controlling, ruling class that is there for self-serving purposes to enrich themselves.
Hearing Kamala might run, we know Chad Bianco is running. These are not business people. We saw Kamala's genius on the federal level, so you know what's up there, okay? I'd be sarcastic. But when you see Chad Bianco, and look how much money he spent. Look how many of his family members are, making money from government. You know what I mean? Look how many of his family members are employed under him, okay? He's made it a family business. This is not about the best and the brightest. It's another, he claims he's like a constitutionalist guy. That's a very DEI policies when you're just like hooking up people because they're your family or friends or nepotism, whatever you want to call it. We need real business people in office, and that's why I 100% support Leo.
Thanks, man. That means a lot.
What did you think of Trump's water release gesture there?
No, I mean, look, we have artificial restrictions on water that's put on by the governor. And it's not just, send the water to LA to fight the fires. It's get the water to the Central Valley where our farmers need it because we need to raise crops. I mean, we have such bad water tables because of the use and the lack of it getting replenished because we're dumping it to the sea. There's literally a bypass in Merced County. It's called the Merced Bypass, where snow melt runs through this and out to the sea. And they are fining farmers for tapping into it to use on their crops. And the farmers are at the point where they say, I don't care, I will pay the exorbitant fines because I need to keep my crops going. Because if they don't do that, they don't make any money, they can't pay their taxes, they're out of business. And that's what happens because there's a lot of farmers in California that have, 20 acres, 50 acres, 100, 200 acres, and they've been there 5, 6, 7 generations. And they can't make ends meet if they don't have their water. So unfortunately, those are some sacrifices that they have to make. But again, this is artificial, and they're doing this to save the Sacramento River smelt, which is only being currently found in the San Francisco Bay Area, and it's only there because the University of Davis is raising them in captivity and then releasing them into the wild there. So there's a lot of bad information on, and don't get me wrong, I don't think we should, send an animal off to extinction if we don't have to. However, we can, what we're currently doing, raising them and keeping them alive in captivity. We got to get our water infrastructure in place so we can have the robustness that we need to then allow for those natural flows to reoccur, where that population can be reintroduced and then sustained naturally in the wild.
What do you think? So there's people like Rick Caruso in LA who clearly Republican, who's run as a Democrat because it's.
I mean, I would argue if he is a Republican or not. I don't necessarily believe that to be the case.
So what do you think? I mean, as you said in your speech, California not that long ago was a politically competitive state for Republicans.
Yeah.
And now we're at this moment where clearly there's discontent with leadership, which is broadly Democratic, but it still seems like people are basically voting Democratic. I'm curious why you think that is.
Part of it is this Trump derangement syndrome that people have been indoctrinated with from mainstream media. That's a big factor. And the other part is Californians are very compassionate and very empathetical, and they're really emotion driven, and I understand that. I have a lot of empathy and understanding, and they let social issues come before functional issues that we're facing in California.
How are you?
Better now.
It's great to see you, Leo Zacky. Leo Zacky. I've known this man forever. It's fantastic to see you here at CPAC, man.
Thanks, I appreciate it, Chris.
Yeah.
Not only is he going to save California.
Today, I am here with Leo Zacky, running for governor of the great state of California. Let's get rid of Gavin Newsom.
Oh, we have to get rid of him. It's long overdue. I'm fine with that. What a concept.
Anybody who has worked on a farm knows.
Real sense of accomplishment, and it feels good, and it makes people have a higher self-esteem. And the largest privately owned employer in the state of California, I've developed simple solutions to the key foundational issues in California that impact everybody. In the federal government, like with Obama when they passed the ethanol mandate. If you're up for it.
Am I up for yelling at politicians?
Look, I'm just happy to fly out.
Right, and for dollars spent versus work done, there's no relation there.
Doing it over and over and over again until you break through.
I want to thank all of you so much. America, California's in the fight. Thank you, CPAC. They lied to you. They stole your money, your business, your future, and they call it progress. When I was born, California was a conservative state. Now, I'm in my 30s, and this is California, burned to the ground. Either we wake up and take back our state, or we lose everything to corruption, globalist agendas, and government overreach. Why can't young people afford homes? Why are our farmers being strangled by water restrictions while California's reservoirs sit empty? Why do politicians protect criminals instead of law-abiding citizens? Why do we keep paying more for gas, electricity, and food while they live in mansions funded by your tax dollars? What the hell is a supermajority? I'll tell you, it's the reason California is completely screwed. A supermajority means one party controls everything. No debate, no opposition, no checks, no balances. Just corruption on steroids. The politicians in charge, they want you weak. They want you poor. They want you afraid. We don't need another weak politician making empty promises. I come from a family of farmers and business owners. My great-grandfather immigrated here and built Zacky Farms from the ground up. For 90 years, we fed California. We worked hard. We built something great. And watched it get destroyed by overregulation, taxation, and all the government corruption. I learned business from the ground up.
I know what it's like to fight through red tape just to survive, and I know how to fix it. I'm not a politician. I'm a businessman, a farmer, and an unapologetic fighter for California. I don't owe anyone in Sacramento a damn thing, and that's why I'm dangerous to them. We the people must take back control of our lives, our freedoms, our government. The wasteful spending, the corruption, the lies. Enough. I have the solutions. I will end the homeless crisis. I will fix our water shortages with reservoirs and desalination. I will cut the taxes and remove the regulations suffocating our businesses. I will expose the corruption in Sacramento and hold these crooks accountable. We need someone who knows what it's like to fight, to work, to build something from nothing. They don't think we have the guts to take our state back. Let's prove them wrong. I'm Leo Zacky, and I'm running for governor here in California in 2026. Let's finish what Trump started. But first, we need to do one thing. Vote for common sense. Let's turn California red again, with action, with a movement. Because this isn't about left or right. This is us versus them. I'm Leo Zacky, and I'm running for governor here in California in 2026. I'm here on Sunset Boulevard, just above Palisades Drive. I'm Leo Zacky, and I'm here in the heart of the devastation left behind by the LA wildfires. As I stand here, surrounded by the ruins of what were once homes, dreams, and livelihoods, I can't help but feel the weight of this tragedy, not just the loss, but the avoidable failures that made it worse. Over 40,000 acres burned, thousands homeless, lives destroyed, not by nature, but by failed leadership that left our firefighters without water, our forests without management, and our people without homes. Under Gavin Newsom's watch, California has seen one catastrophic fire after another. Over 12,000 structures have burned this year in January alone. We can't change what happened here, but we can change what happens next. I'm Leo Zacky, and I'm running for governor here in California because the next disaster we prevent might save your home. How's it going, guys? I'm back, brother. Gotta go see Mr. Foster.
You good, man?
Thanks, partner. I'm Leo Zacky, and I've seen firsthand the devastation these wildfires have caused. Entire communities reduced to ash. But let's be clear, some of this destruction wasn't just an act of nature. It was deliberate. Because we've been seeing a lot of arsonists, 95% of the fires that are started here in California are actually human-related, and a lot of them are deliberate arson. We've seen a lot of videos of deliberate arson taking place here with the fires in Los Angeles. This isn't just a crime, it's terrorism. And as your governor, I will treat it as such. Arsonists and accelerationist groups are weaponizing fire against our state, destroying lives, homes, and futures if you set fires. If you engage in this kind of behavior, you will face swift and severe consequences. I'm Leo Zacky, and I'm running for governor here in California, and I'm ready to fight for California's future. Isn't this great? It's Trump's America now, boy. That's my booth. Oil here in California, and we're refining here in California to get any sort of reasonable time, affordable response from the city or from the state. Bro, that's the attitude. Yes. Republicans want change. California needs change. We are in this because we care. Well, the good ones at least. But we're out there. There's more of us than you think. Join the team. Make some good progress here.
I'm Mindy MF Robinson for America Happens, and I am here with
Leo Zacky,
the one and only. So you are once again running for governor. You're my favorite, by the way. I mean, no, I know. Go on.
Thank you.
So Leo, thank you for talking to me. Like, this is a side of you I haven't seen yet, and I like it.
This isn't just the story of a natural disaster. It's the story of what happens when leadership fails. Behind me is what's left of a family's home. A place where children played, memories were made, but it's all gone now. And part of the blame lies with decisions made far from here. Sacramento would call this a natural disaster. But there was nothing natural about empty reservoirs during fire season.
And it's not empty because the firefighters used it up, it's empty because it was drained.
Nothing natural about failed hydrants as homes burned. Nothing natural about families losing everything because politicians chose politics over protection.
I'm here on Palisades Drive in front of the Palisades Hills community. This is a clear failure at the highest levels. Gavin Newsom, I'm calling for your resignation, and I'm going to take your job. I'm Leo Zacky, and I'm running for governor here in California.
California wasn't always like this. I should know. My name is Leo Zacky, and I'm a fourth-generation Californian. My great-grandfather started Sam's Poultry Market in 1928, and for nearly a century, my family built it into the largest vertically integrated poultry company on the West Coast. We hatched, raised, processed, packaged, and delivered real food for real people, all while creating over 4,000 California jobs along the way. We worked hard, we played by the rules, but eventually, we lost. Not to competition, not to the market. No, we lost to government overreach, bloated bureaucracy, insane taxes, and a politically driven overregulation. The same people who claim to care about work and families destroyed thousands of them. After watching this state crush the family business my ancestors built from nothing, I had a choice. Walk away or fight back. So, here I am, and I'm ready for a fight. This state, my state, is being run into the ground. Water mismanagement, crime waves, wildfires, homelessness, corrupt politicians, and an education system that's failing our kids. We don't need more empty speeches. We need action. You want real solutions? I've got them. Not theories, real plans. Go to leozacky.com to see exactly how we fix this. Here's the bottom line. I don't owe favors to Sacramento lobbyists, and I'm not here to climb a political ladder. I'm here to restore California, and I need your help to do it. Let's stop the collapse. Let's rebuild this state, and let's remind the state what happens when common sense, hard work, and California grit rise up against a failed system. I'm Leo Zacky, and I'm running for governor of California, not as a politician, but as someone who's lived the American dream and watched Sacramento burn it to the ground. If you're ready to fight for our future, then join me.
I'm Leo Zacky, and I'm running for governor here in California.
California is being destroyed by career politicians who've never worked a real job, and they destroyed my family's business.
For 90 years, we fed California. We worked hard to build something great, and we watched it get destroyed by overregulation, taxation, and corruption. I learned business from the ground up. I know what it's like to fight through red tape just to survive, and I know how to fix it. I'm not a politician. I'm a businessman, a farmer, and an unapologetic fighter for California.
But I can't do it alone. To make this campaign successful, I need people like you to step up.
Fight, fight, fight! We can turn California red again.
With action, with a movement.
We are just getting started.
Invite Leo to speak at your events, meet your communities, and share the vision we're all fighting for. Leo's a dynamic speaker who connects deeply with crowds, but his calendar is filling up fast. If you want him at your event, reach out early to reserve a spot and make sure your community hears the message firsthand. Help us get this message out. Help us bring common sense leadership to every corner of the state.
I'm Leo Zacky, and I'm running for governor of California.
They lied to you. They stole your money, your business, your future, and they call it progress. When I was born, California was a conservative state. Now, I'm in my 30s, and this is California, burned to the ground. Either we wake up and take back our state, or we lose everything to corruption, globalist agendas, and government overreach. Why can't young people afford homes? Why are our farmers being strangled by water restrictions while California's reservoirs sit empty? Why do politicians protect criminals instead of law-abiding citizens?
Why do we keep paying more for gas, electricity, and food while they live in mansions funded by your tax dollars? What the hell is a supermajority? I'll tell you, it's the reason California is completely screwed. A supermajority means one party controls everything. No debate, no opposition, no checks, no balances. Just corruption on steroids. The politicians in charge, they want you weak. They want you poor. They want you afraid. We don't need another weak politician making empty promises. I come from a family of farmers and business owners. My great-grandfather immigrated here and built Zacky Farms from the ground up. For 90 years, we fed California. We worked hard. We built something great. And watched it get destroyed by overregulation, taxation, and all the government corruption. I learned business from the ground up. I know what it's like to fight through red tape just to survive. And I know how to fix it. I'm not a politician. I'm a businessman, a farmer, and an unapologetic fighter for California. I don't owe anyone in Sacramento a damn thing, and that's why I'm dangerous to them. We the people must take back control of our lives, our freedoms, our government. The wasteful spending, the corruption, the lies. Enough. I have the solutions. I will end the homeless crisis. I will fix our water shortages with reservoirs and desalination. I will cut the taxes and remove the regulations suffocating our businesses. I will expose the corruption in Sacramento and hold these crooks accountable. We need someone who knows what it's like to fight, to work, to build something from nothing. They don't think we have the guts to take our state back. Let's prove them wrong. I'm Leo Zacky, and I'm running for governor here in California in 2026. Let's finish what Trump started. But first, we need to do one thing. Vote for common sense. Let's turn California red again. With action. With a movement. Because this isn't about left or right. This is us versus them. I'm Leo Zacky, and I'm running for governor here in California in 2026.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Leo Zacky.
Hello, CPAC! My name is Leo Zacky, and I'm the host of the international radio show America Matters on the Salem Network and the Answer Network. I was vice president of Zacky Farms, my family's poultry company, and a board member of the California Poultry Federation for 10 years. 120 years ago, my family legally immigrated to California, where my great-grandfather started what became Zacky Farms. Zacky Farms was a vertically integrated business and the largest poultry company on the West Coast, largest organic turkey producer in the nation, and the largest privately owned employer in California. After 90 years, we were forced to close our doors and put thousands of people out of work because of elected officials in California who hate private business. They raised the anti-competitive minimum wage and overregulated the entire industry until it was impossible to exist. Now, a lot of smart people will tell you this is just mismanagement, just waste, just incompetence. But let's be real for a second. This is not incompetence. This is a deliberate strategy to destroy small businesses and the middle class. California isn't run by the people anymore. It's run by a political cartel, by a handful of ruling families and their cronies who will not stop unless we drive them out. Many of you, especially the younger ones in the audience, might not even know this, but California used to be a red state, a strong conservative state. And here's what they don't want you to know. California still has more conservatives than any other state. That's more than Texas, more than Florida. So how do the radicals stay in power? They built a one-party dictatorship
and they call it a supermajority. And they did this by running Democrats, but calling them Republicans. These rhinos stole the vote from the people by making IDs for voting illegal, by inflating the census, gerrymandering, ballot harvesting, and removing all oversight that was in place to ensure election integrity. I'm no detective, but even a dummy can smell voter fraud when the state with the most conservatives somehow magically votes blue every year. We are blessed to have Donald Trump as our president. We truly are. But all that means is that we have a few more years and a fighting chance to clean out the gangsters who are plundering our beautiful nation. The fight continues, and we must win this battle. And this battle is in California. We can turn California red again. It's responsible for some of the worst legislators in the nation and destabilizing our republic with anti-American policies. If it happened here, it can and will happen in your state too. But that's why you're here, to see conservative values defended against the psychotic enemies of our republic with their BS woke agenda 21 and 15-minute cities. Every day, the new Department of Government Efficiency exposes more of their lunacy and disgusting waste. California needs its own DOGE and a proper purchasing department to manage its spending habit with full transparency. Transparency in our government is mandatory to keep out the bad guys. California is over $3.2 trillion in debt. And thanks to DOGE, we will soon know some of the insanity these maniacs have been wasting our money on. This isn't just corruption, it's criminal. The fires in Los Angeles have woken up a lot of lefties. So guess what? It doesn't matter if you used to be a liberal or conservative when you're homeless. Losing everything tends to change your mindset. I'm here to tell you that California is ready for change, but it won't happen without the support of our Republicans across the nation. That means all of you, everyone in this room and listening at home, wants to save this country and defeat the Marxist globalist woke agenda. The time to strike is now. But the establishment rhinos are working hard to derail our America First efforts. Support your grassroots patriots and sign up for your local precinct committeemen. There's over 200,000 empty seats out of the 400,000 nationwide. If we're going to hold the line, we need to scoop them up and also run for local board, council, committee, statewide positions. Trump winning does not mean the war is won. It means we are just getting started. And Americans are gearing up. The battle isn't just against a toxic ideology. It's against criminals who have infiltrated our system and are trying to destroy it from within. We are going to break the totalitarian supermajority in California with the help of God, the prayers of the righteous, and a lot of hard work. Again, my name is Leo Zacky, and please tune into my radio show Monday through Friday and visit my website to see how you can get involved locally with other patriots. Go to turnred.org, and I want to thank all of you so much. America, California's in the fight. Thank you, CPAC. My name is Leo Zacky, and I was born and raised in California. My family's been in California for over 100 years. In 1928, my great-grandfather started Zacky Farms here in Los Angeles, and it became the largest poultry company on the West Coast. We also became the largest privately owned employer in the state of California. Zacky Farms was my life. I started at the bottom, and I worked my way all the way up to becoming vice president. I know what hard work is. I put in the time. I've done it. In California, from growing up to California today, 2 different places. What happened to California? Things keep getting worse. I'm running for governor because California is my home. I'm coming in with common sense solutions to clean up California. Political corruption is what's holding California back. The politicians have created these problems. When I'm elected governor, On day one, the first 5 things I'm going after are drought, homelessness, crime, education, and political corruption. I'm Leo Zacky, and I'm running for governor in California.